again back from starting of the week. So today, let's continue with the same topic, transport management system. So we are discussing about the transport management system. So what is transport management system? Why we use, right? So transport management system is used to move or manage or control the development objects and customized settings from one system to another system to till production. We can manage the objects which are developed by the our developer. We can move the objects in the form of transport request. We can move it here, right? So it's basically consist of exporting of a objects out of the source system and importing into the target SAP system, right? Just normally the basically the functionality is exporting and importing functionality here. Export import methods, right? So same exporting from source and importing into the target system here. So why do we need a transport system here? The CTMS system will play the very important role and overall the developments, customizations, and everything we can move to the quality and testing will be done proper. Then we can move to the production here. So that's why without transport management system, we cannot move all those things here. So it is a tool actually. CTMS is one of the tool using the STMS transaction code. We do all the things here, right? So in a landscape means in a system landscape means in your system you have the development system, quality system, and production system here, right? So in a tool here. So normally we do the customization, right? So we means our development team do the customization here. Customization is a process to adapt the SAP system according to the customer need. According to the customer needs, we will change the our SAP system screens, some object changes, some program changes, some tables, whatever it may be. So to perform this customization, users, maybe consultants, they will do the some reference images, guides. So they will SPRO, some other tools they will use it. So they will do the changes. So once done, they will record their changes into the one of the request that we will call it as the transport request here. So that request we will move to the quality and followed by the production system. We will move it here, right? So here as part of the TMS administration, so we will have to do the TMS configuration. Configuration we have to perform it here. Domain controller configuration and adding the systems here, then to transport routes and transport layers. So these things we have to create it here. So this we have done it in the last class. So now the next part in the STMS only. So creation of the transport request here. Creation of request creation. So this will be done by the your developers. This will be done by the your developers. So then request release here. Request means is transport request, right? That's why the TR release by TR owners means who created the TR. Those are the which means so development team, developers, development, right? So they will create the request, they will add the objects, and they will release the objects. Then here the basis team will do the import. Basis team will do the import of the TR. So basis people, basis team means we are the basis team here. So our request will comes under here. So here two parts, total four parts here. In the four parts here, the first one configuration we have to do it. The request creation and release by the developers. Then the fourth one is our regular duty here. These all are the one-time activity. But this is the regular duty by developers. This is our regular duty by the our basis team members here. We have to do that one here. So before coming to here, first of all, we need to check the request creation and request release here. So before that, let's check the configuration what we performed in the in the last class here. So let me go to the user and see whether still the configuration exists or it got failed. So let me go to the STMS. So NW1 is the domain controller here. So I think NW1 is there. So if I do the refresh here, it should be the green. Okay. It should be green status. Your buffer should be the green status here. Okay. Configuration is exist. Let me check the transport routes here. So here, so you created a development ECD to NW1 to production. Okay. This configuration is perfectly fine. So SAP layer, ZSD layer, okay, configuration is good. But here we need to do the developments in the ECD system. Why? Because our first system is the ECD system. Then ECD system, we have to do that one here. So here, what is the transaction code that normally people will use to do the developments here, right? So normally they will use the SE01 or SE09 or SE10. These are the transaction codes they will use for creation of request here. Request creation, they will use the this SE01, SE09 or SE10, they will use it here. Here, objects, they will do the objects here. They will do the customization of the changes here. Which customization? There the types of objects are there here. Client specific objects and cross client here. Client specific changes means only particular client only, not intended for all the system clients and another system. Only the specific to client. If you do the changes, I want only this client specific changes. They're the client specific changes, cross client changes, which means repository and development changes here. So client specific changes means specific to the particular client only, right? So specific to the particular client. Suppose example, if we go to SE01, using these three transaction codes, we will do the developments here. Go to the SE01. So here, just click on the create request here, right? Request creation. There are the types of request here: customization, workbench request, transport of copies, and remaining all are the relocation of the objects. Normally, this last five we will not use now regularly. So only refresh time we will use the transport of copies, and remaining regularly we use only developers will use the customization or workbench request here. So customization, client specific request here, customization here. So customization request means client specific request here. So client specific means user master data, customizing to data, application data. So these all are the client specific data. Client specific data, yeah, specific to that client only, not to the other clients here. That's why customization. That's why customer user master data. Why? Because client basis level, only each client there is a user master data, right? So then we have the workbench request means specific to the all the clients here. Not only one client, it's specific to the all the clients as well as the remaining systems also you can import it here. That is called the customization, workbench and repository here client. So cross client, that is called the repository here, right? So new development that's required the other system, other client, another landscape, that we will call it as the tables, data dictionary, objects, domain, data elements, programs. Those are the client cross client changes. Those are the cross client changes here. So the developers will decide which is the change. They will decide it and they will click on the customization request here. They will click on the customization. Then here they will provide the in the request field, they will provide the short description like what changes you are moving, what changes you are adding here. Suppose example, I will say here I will just mention the So some table changes here. Okay, just mention the table changes here. Click on the create button here, right? So that request created here, right? Request created. The request is like a carry bag here. When you go to the shopping mall, when you go to the shopping mall, when you purchase something here, when you go to the shopping mall and when you purchase one shirt or t-shirt or something, one item, if you purchase, that item is called the object, right? So in the system, shopping mall is the system in that you purchased something, you done the some changes, then that changes once your billing is done, the shop person will give you the one carry bag. In that carry bag, you will insert the one item, right? That item is called the object. Carry bag is called the request. Okay, best example. Why we need carry bag? To carry that object from shopping mall to your home, right? Destination. Same lady. Why we need request here? So the request to carry your objects from one system to another system, you need a request creation. So where we have to create the request creation in this transaction code. So any transaction code, you can use it here. So types of request, types of carrybacks, customization, and cross client. So based upon the item, the shoppers they will provide the different type of carrybacks, right? Both will be used to carry the objects, right? One is the small, medium, something large, something like that, right? So same as like here as well. So here, so based on that, any request creation, but here there is a standard naming convention karda carry bag here, SID, right? K9 and the request number 5 digits number will be displayed here, right? That is the carry bag naming convention, which means the request naming convention. Naming convention of the request is like a so SID K9 number here, right? So SID, in which system you are creating that SID K9 and number. Number means what is that number? That number will be displayed here, right? If it is the next request number 6 after that 7 or 8, next sequence will be followed here. So like that, so SID K9, the number will be created. Sir, why two requests here? One is the main request, second one is the subtask here. Main and subtask here. Main request. If you create the one request, so it will create the main request and sub request here, right? Main and sub. So here, first of all, you need to add the objects here. Actually, this is not our duty, but here we don't have any developers. So that's why, so we are also adding the objects here. Here, what you are going to do here, you are going to click on the create button, change button. Here you need to add the objects or programs, whatever you want to move from. So TABU, table. So R3TR is common. Here object, what type of objects you are trying to move it here. So here they have the number of types of objects. We want to move the screens, HR forms. So anything you want to move it. So you can archiving class, archiving objects. So whatever you want to move it, assets, fixed assets. So anything table, programs, whatever customization, anything you want to move it here. So just you can use the this transport request number, this transport request number, these numbers you have to use it here. So here, that's why you are not sure. That's why you just ignore it here. So just to mention that table name. So what is the table? Taboo means table name here. What table you are trying to move it here? What table? So you are trying to move to the so target system here. Client specific table. What client specific table you are moving to the so target here. So let's take the one table here. Let's take any one of the custom table here. So standard table. Suppose example tables means let's take the entries. Which table we have? CD, HDR. This is the one of the change document table. How many entries are there? Zero entries. Okay. So CD pause. Just trying to get snap. Ballot. Okay. 880 entries are there. 880 entries are there here in the BALDAT. So let me try to move this table's data to BALDAT table here. This is one of the logs will be stored. So here I will put the object here. So yeah. So this table data, I am moving from source ECD to, so you are moving to the ECD. So to do is a temporary table. Okay, that's fine. So you are moving this table, BALDAT table from ECD 100 client to, so you need some this data to the, so where NW1 system, you need this data here. So let's see the, what is the entries, what are the entries you have in the, in this table here, right? Go to the SE16, then, so this table entries, how many are there here? Wow, here 3000. Yeah, more entries are there here compared to there. Here more entries are there here, right? NW1 we have the more entries, and ECD source we have the less entries. So this less entries related objects you are moving to the, so you are moving to the, so yeah, NW1 system here, right? So you created the request in subtask, you added the table, this table data you are moving to the, this table data you are moving to the NW1 system. So it's their developers, they will take care of, you no need to take the risk here. But for us, how the transport changes, the one system development changes, some entries, how can we move to the target system? Not entire client, only client specific, only whatever the change you want to move it, how to move it. So that table you need to add to the request. Then after the request creation is done, right? Then this is a main request, this is a sub request here. Sub request you need to add the all the changes here. Then once done, so people will move the changes here. So request creation is done. Then they have to release it. They have to release it here. So but here release means export. They need to do the exports here. So in the development, they will do the changes here. Then we want to move to the product quality system here for testing purpose here, right? Development, they have created the one request, one table data. This table data entries, we want to move to the quality system here, quality. Quality means your respective UAT testing or quality system, you want to move it here, NW1 system in our case. Here we have the some 800 entries are there. Here already 3000 entries are there here, but we want these entries to be here. Then in this case, just copy this table, add this table to the transport request, then release it. You release it here. But here, when you are doing this TMS configurations and everything here, operating system level, there is a one transport directory that is called the USR SAP trans. So operating system level, so there is a one transport directory here. What is the domain controller? The domain control trans directory will be shared across the systems. Across the systems, this will be shared, right? So then whatever the changes, if you are doing the TMS configuration, right? Then there is a bin folder here. Here the configuration files, binaries files, and the transport files will be saved into the USR SAP trans folder here. Then here we have the buffer. Buffer means here the imported buffer files, how many transport requests you are going to import it here, that will be there, right? Then co-files. Co-files means co-file starts with the K9 here. K9. K9. K9 means co-files here. So which means the transport request which you created, it will split into the two files here. One is the co-files and data files here. Co-file starts with the K9 and data file starts with the R9 here. R9 here. So which means same request will be split into the K9 1234 dot ECD R9. It means one transport request will split into the two files here. So if you go to the, so your system KP in the file explorer, if you type like KP online 1, in the file explorer, so you will see the, so transport files here. You will see the transport files here. Here we can get the spelling mistake. problem with the network. Okay. So here, if you see here, so whenever you are doing the TMS configuration operating system level, there is a one directory here, USR SAP SID. Sorry, USR SAP trans. Under the trans, you have bin folder, bin. Bin means it will your configuration files. Then what are the systems you are adding here? All the systems related profiles are available. This we will call it as the transport profile directory is name. So home directory is called the bin. All the transport related configurations. If you delete these files, all the configuration will be gone, right? So this is the transport profiles and everything will be saved into the bin directory. So don't touch these files. And buffer, the transport request which we are going to import it here, those buffers related files are available. How many transport requests you are going to be imported? All the transport request related files will be in this screen here, in this buffer file here, right? So then co-files, the files will be, so it starts with the K9. K9 means co-files, co-files, right? All the files starts with the K9, 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 K9. Data file. So data, actual data will resides in this folder only. Data file. Actual, the data resides in this folder only. That we will call this the data file here. So now what you are going to do now, see here, today's date, nothing is there. Co-files and data files are nothing is there here. But what we know, what we discuss now, whenever you release the transport request here, whenever you release the transport request, this request will split into the two files. One is the co-file and data file. So now it's a 29 request number. Let's release. There is a truck symbol, right? You need to release it. You means who created the transport request, the person has to release the release request here. So request has been released. Then main request also you have to release it here. Done. Sub request and main request, both you have released here. Both you have released here, right? So once you release it here, as soon as here it will generate the one file here. See today's date 5:54 p.m. So there is a one file got generated here. This is the co-file K9. It starts with the K9 and your request number here, which means whenever you release the request, it will create the co-files and data files, which means your request has been successfully released here. Data files. So R9. Actual data resides in this file only. So co-file is the just control file. Data file is the actual data, your table entries, everything will be saved into the here, right? So co-files and data files here. So EPS means just support pack related files will be stored here. Then log means your transport log files are available, whether transports are successfully imported or not, that we can check it out. Let's see that one, right? You released the request here. You released the request. Then now, now the team will inform you, hi basis team, we have created the request 29. Could you please import into the NW1 system, right? So request is released status now. Request is released status now. Then only we have to import it here. Request was released and exported here. Then we have to go to the NW1 system, right? Go to the STMS. This is our responsibility. Make sure this is purely our responsibility. Go to the STMS transaction code, then click on the import overview, right? Here you have the three systems here, right? So then they, in which system you want to import? NW1 system, right? Just click on the NW1 system. Then it will open the import buffer. Import buffer here. Import buffer. How many transport requests are there? It will show the import buffer request here. Import buffer, right? So here, what is the transport request you are going to import? 29 request. 29 request got reached to the here. 29 request, it reached to the here, right? Then select the request here. How to import? This is our important. This is our duty. So, which means importing the transport request to the NW1. Then they will ask us you to I basis team, could you please import the transport request into NW1 system? Then go to STMS transaction code. Then click on the import overview. Then select the which system. That system only you need to select it. Then which request. See whether your request is coming to here now or not. Just refresh it here. Automatically it will come here. Right? So then select the request. Then here you have the two truck symbols are there here. Truck symbol. One is the full load truck. Don't click this one. This is for the importing the all the request. Whatever the requests are there buffer, all the requests will be imported. This is kind of some dangerous option. So, but there is a only semi-load truck. Semi-load truck. Only single request. So select the single request here. Right? Then it will ask the which client you want to move these changes here. Which client? I want to move these changes to the 001 client or 100 client, right? I have the 001 client here. Then select the 001 client here. Then so you want to start immediately. You want to immediately import or you want to set some timelines or anything. So immediately, right? So then there is a execution, right? There is a import options here, synchronous or asynchronous mode. Asynchronous means when the import is started, the backend one job will be triggered that immediately the job will be released and immediately the background work process also will be released. But here synchronous means one work process will stick until you complete the imports. Normally, when you are doing this import option, what will happen? So one background job will be triggered, backend, RDD, IMP, If you want to run that job, you need one BTC work process. You want to run that BTC work process until end of this procedure, then you need to select the synchronous option until the your work process is blocked until end of the import has been ended. So normally synchronous mode only we will select it here, right? So normal default options only. But here there are the transport options here. Here we have the transport options we choose here. Transport options we choose here, right? Transport option we have to choose it here, right? So a transport options, which means so import the request. So here that is depends upon the your customer. We choose the option import the request again. You want to override the existing objects. So you don't want to override the objects means in this object in this request you have already some objects are matching in the target and here it is matching. You want to override? Yes, select override. You don't want to override? Then you can undone select it here. Then you want to ignore the invalid component version. Last one, definitely people will select it here. That is different. Which options you want to select? That is different here. That is depends on the your company. It's not like same for all the companies, all the organizations, all the customers. It depends upon the customers here. Okay. So normally people will select first three or last one. Someone they will select it here. Right. Then select it. Click on the import button here, right? Click on the yes. You want to import the request into the here. Then immediately there is a truck symbol. Import is started. Import is running. So click on the import button, right? Then you will see the sir import truck. There is no import truck here, but I see the in the RC column, there is a written code green. What does it mean? They are the TR written codes here, import written codes here, TR import written codes here, import written codes, import RCs here. If it is the 0, 4, 8, 12, they are the import written codes here. It won't show like you successfully imported. The written code will show, right? So the based upon the code, then you will come to know, okay, this is has been successfully imported to the your NW1 system. Only that table related entries are imported, not other table related. Only the something val table related entries are imported here, right? So 0. If the written code is 0, import written code. Sometimes they may ask you, can you tell me the written codes of the transport request 04812, right? 0 means successfully imported here. So no issues. 4 means successfully imported with warnings. So warnings also we can ignore. So 04 means successfully imported only. But 8 means, so here one or more errors got occurred. 8 means one or more errors got occurred. So which means again developer has to do the so rework, one more request, one more object, or one more TR, he has to create it here, right? So 12 means system error. This one we have to check it out, system error, which means we have to fix the issue here. So 8 means developer, transport owner has to fix the issue. 04 means successfully imported with warnings, that's we can ignore it. So 8 means you need to inform to the developer TR failed with the RC8 or to this one we have to check it out here, right? So here the RC is the 0, which means TR successfully imported. If you see the logs here, so TR import successfully 0 here. So now what is the TR? In the TR, what it contains? Table. What is the table? Baldat table. In the table, how many entries are there? So that many entries will be come here. Sir, where is my entries here? Right? In the source, in the NW1, we have the 3000 plus entries here. But my in the source, I have only less entries here. This less entries I copied to the so target system here. How many entries are there? 880 entries here. But how many are there here? Target 880 entries here. Only this table got touched here, not other tables here. Only this table data got wiped out. Whatever the entries are there here, whatever the data is there here inside of the data. So only those data got displayed here. Only those data got displayed here. Same as like here, whatever the data is there here, same data got displayed here, right? Same data got displayed here. So same data got displayed here. So, which means same to say this table data, we got it to the quality system, NW1. Then here people will do the testing and validations and everything. If everything is okay, then same transport request, they will ask us to import to the production. Then we will go to the same transport import. They asked us to import to the production, right? Then click on the refresh. Then one more request will come to the, in this case, one. Go to the production here, then select the transport request, then they will import to the production here, right? Same, select the transport request, they will click on the transport truck symbol, they will import it here. So like that, how these transports are managing here? Who will managing here? From ECD, if you release it, it is going to the NW1 system only. NW1 is done, then it is going to the PRD system. Who is managing here? Domain controller. Domain controller is managing the all the changes within the landscape here. The master system, the main bank is managing the all the sub banks here. The master system managing the all the subsystems and everything here. The manager, the domain controller manager is managing the all the so all his subordinates or teammates is managing here, right? So that's the reason. If the manager is down due to some issues, so then immediately who will manage the team? No one. In that case, so that is the one, right? So here the domain controller NW1 is managing the all the three systems in a landscape here. All the three systems in a landscape. Once you release the request, you should go to here, then you should go to here. Then how the requests are coming in? Because of like this only, right? So now again, one more request will create it here. Click on the create request, then workbench is this time workbench request, then workbench request. So suppose like here, text one, you no need to add the objects also here, right? So just select the request or select the sub request, release it, main request, release it here. The request will be is getting released. Now 31 request number, main task and sub task. When the request, as soon as request is released, here you will get the one more request. So co-files and data files. So 31, 29, 31 is released here. Now data file, then 31 is released here, right? So immediately the transport request release happens, then immediately you will get the request will be released status here. Then they will ask the basis team to import to the NW1 system. Then here you can see one are there here. Now just click on the refresh here. One more request will be added to the here. Then two request number two it will come to the here. Why? Because now one we added to the buffer, then one more request is added, right? Now two we got it here. Then go to the NW1 system, then click on the just click on the import the request here as a testing purpose. Which client you want to import? So you want to import the 077, then 077, then you want to ignore, you want to select these options, then click on the import, then the request is getting imported into the NW1 system, right? NW1 system here, that is done. Once the request is imported to the NW1 system, then immediately it will go to the PRD and it will add it to the PRD buffer here. Then it will come to 2 again here, right? Once the request is received here, it is adding the number here, then one more number it is adding to the here. Once we import to the quality, then only it will import to the production. We cannot bypass, okay? We cannot bypass the request. That is not the best practices here. So we have to go one by one, we have to import. In the production, we have the 2 requests are there here again. So like this, per day, we have to import the many request, bulk request, we have to do it. It's part of the our scope of activities here. This part of the our scope of work here, importing the transport request here, right? So you no need to add the real objects here, but because developers will take care of. But if you want to play with the creation and imports, then click on the create button. So you choose whatever you want, customization, then choose the test2, then click on the save button, one more request will be created. Then request the main release, right? So then sub request also sometimes will be released automatically here. If you release the main request, sub request also will be released. So 33 request number. When you go to the here, then 33 request got generated, which means request got released here. If you don't release, then request will not give. If you don't release, then you cannot import. If you release, then only it will be imported status. We can import it. If without releasing, if you're trying to see the request, then the request will not come to in this list here. The request will not come to in this list here. With releasing only, the request will come to in this request, in this status, in the buffer status. This is called the import buffer status, 3 requests. Then go to the NW, whatever the request they are asking us to import, then click on the import button. That will be imported here. So this is the status. Sometimes it may get failed due to the some errors in the NW1 system. RC8 will come or RC12 will come. RC8 will come or sometimes RC12 also we will receive it here. RC12 also we will receive it here. Right? So, but RC8 will come, developer has to work on that one. RC12, then we need to check the system issues. Then go to the here, go to then system log. See what's happening in the my system here. What's happening in the my system? Are there any errors? So as of now, no errors. Transport request start, import. There is no such error. This is not the errors here, right? So this error, these log files also it's referring from, it's coming from your USRSAP trans directory log folder. Then slog file is showing here, right? So then when your request is importing it in the SAP level, there is a one job will run RDD IMPDP job will run here. RDD IMPDP job will run here. RDD IMPDP job. So this job IMPDP job will import the request here, right? This job will run on the one of the user, and so one of the user here, then this one of the user plus this will is the event periodic. Event means whenever the this release, whenever the it will release here, whenever the so event trigger, import trigger, job will be imported here. Whenever the job will trigger here. Okay, so that is the main thing here, start conditions here, right? So that is the this job will trigger automatically. No one will trigger. This job will trigger whenever you click on the import button. Automatically backend this job will run. This will import the request. So that is the main thing here. The main thing is here. Your duty is importing the transport request to the respective target systems here. In case of they have not released it here. Suppose they have created the request here. Suppose like customization request here. Test3. So now it's in the modifiable status. So 35. Then whenever they are not released it, then 35 request will not come to here. When they release it, then only the request will come for import status here, import status here, right? Whenever they release it here, there is a truck symbol. They will add the objects, they will release it. Then only the request will come to the here, 35, right? So then co-files, then it will come to the 35 here, right? So here buffer means imported request. Which request are you are going to import it? That request will come to in this place here. Suppose like NW1 request 31, right? Whatever the request you are going to import it here, all the requests will come to in this list here, right? So then this is the imported request. What are the requests that are there in the buffer? Buffer means the here, this we will call it as the buffers. Three systems are there. How many requests are there? Three systems. This is the one of the ECD buffer. In the buffer, you have the three systems. All the three systems list will be displayed here. ECD, ECP, and W1. So PRD, whatever the requests are there, all will come to in this list. PRD, how many requests are there? If you open, then it will display the 31, 35, 29, 31, now 33, 35. All will come to in this list here, right? So now just click on the refresh button. 4 requests are there here in NW1, right? 35 requests also added. So like this, so already existing, sometimes you may get already TR imported. Could you please re-import? Then you can also do the re-import. Re-import also we can perform it here. Re-import also you can perform to the same client, other clients. Sir, I have many clients. I want to at a time, I want to add to the other clients means there is a transport target. I will explain it. Transport target, I will explain it here. So here the options are very important here. Options are very important here. So that depends upon the your customer company. So you need to choose these options. So then click on the import symbol. Backend the job is triggered. The job is getting imported now. Imported into the your NW1 system. Only specific changes only we are importing into the system. Specific changes. This is called the transport, creation, release, and import. And these are the options we have here. So in case of any errors comes, how to check? Then in case of any errors comes here, is that there are the TP system log here. And also I want to check how many requests are imported since last 1 year. Then there is a import history. Then you can see the import history here. So I want last 1 year, how many requests are imported here. Then select this one, click on the from date to date changes, click on the import button. Then last 1 year, these are the requests are got imported. When it is imported, who imported, then all the changes will be populated here in this case here, right? All the changes will be in the here and it will be displayed here. Then you can download or you can request, you can inform to the manager, something like that here. That is called the import history, right? Import monitor means how many requests are imported today by your user. It will be display the how many requests are imported. That will be show. Both are will be same. But this is the important. TP system log is the important here. In the TP system log, you see the what are the log files, how many transport steps, each and everything will be displayed here, recorded in the TP system log here. This is one of the troubleshooting log file here. Transport related any issues, you need to go to the TP system log at here, or you need to go to the operating system level log directory. There also you can see it here. Okay, this is the transport import procedure here, right? So this is our regular duty, regular activity. We have to do it this one, right? So 04812 means system error. What type of system error? I will explain it, right? I will explain it. Why? Because so tomorrow I will explain about the RC12 comes what type of system errors, then how to fix that type of errors here, and also transport targets. Suppose, sir, I want now you are only doing to the one client. I want to add the all the clients here, all the clients at a time. Then how can I do that one? Then transport target is required, right? So that is also we can do that one. This one we are manually doing. This one you are manually doing the transport request in the order, right? Suppose instead of moving to the some other system, one system to different system, if you left it out, so there is a chances to the system to be corrupted. Why? Because you are moving the table entries, only the specific table entries you are moving from one system to other system. Then there is a chances to losing the data. So that's why carefully you need to plan these changes and everything in the systems. Okay. So what you need to do as part of your work, so please create your transport request, respective request, or you can also use the existing request in the buffer. Go to the NW1, then select the some of the request. So already existing, choose, leave it this one, only today's one. Just select it, click on the import button and observe it here. And so if you want to create by your own, just go to the SE01, choose either customization or customization request or change. Customization means client specific. This is the cross client. Okay. So client specific request, select it. Then put your name. Then so here no need to add any objects. Why? Because it's not your duty to add the objects data. Just click on the just release it here. The TR will be released here. So my assignment I am doing now. So it's done. So then when I click on the refresh button here, then one more request will come into the picture here. NW1 ECD you created, NW1 buffer it will be added. So NW1 buffer it will be added. See here. So with name, my name. So I have done my assignment like that, please. So do your work. So then you can import it. It will come to the signal. So based on that, we can see errors, issues, how to fix it out, what is happening in the backend. Tomorrow I will explain it. Why? Because at a time both the same, then you will get confused. So tomorrow I will explain about how to fix the transport, how to tackle the transport related issues, and all those things I will explain it. Okay, so any?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
While importing the transport request, we need to log in from target client only.
Yeah, any client you can log in and import it. The
Any client.
TMS configuration is correctly done. So now what I am doing, I have done it here. I am going to select it. I am logging into the 001. Then I am going to import to the not only 001, 100 client I am importing.
Target system only. Target system or any.
Target system only we have to log in. Otherwise, source system also we can log in. So not a problem. Just go back. Why? Because the buffer is import buffer is that is shared between all the systems. So you can log into the so now on the ECD, you can also log into the NW1 system. So then you can also do the imports. That's not a problem. But main
Any.
thing is your TMS configuration should be correctly configured. Otherwise, it will keep on asking the passwords. It will keep on asking the passwords and everything here. See here, I'm in the NDCD system. Any system you can import it.
Okay.
From any system, you can import it. But TMS configuration is not correctly configured. See, it is asking the user ID password. So that is the reason. Somewhere you maintained the wrong password or something, the destination will fail it here. Better to in which system you are going to import it, log into that system, only that system. Suppose people asked you to move to the east, so production system, then you need to log into the production system. So production system, then in the production system, log in with the user, respective user license. Okay, go to the STMS or STMS underscore import. Import means directly it will go to the import buffer. So go to the import buffer, select the transport request, click on the import, but don't click the full load truck. So this will be create the some noise, which means all will be imported without any order. So normally TRs we have to import in the order wise only. Then only system will be consistent. Otherwise you will face the lot of dumps, lot of errors, syntax error, program errors, many things you may face it.
Okay.
Any other questions, anyone?
The export is done on the source. Is that correct?
Yeah. Source you have to do the exports. What it will do? It will do the export to the co-files and data files. Means it will release the some files. Then from here, when you are doing the import, it will import to the here. Same client copy export and import methods only. That's why client copy export import method there is a depends on the your transport management configurations only. So this will be the export releasing. Release means transport request releasing means it will be exporting here. Import means you are importing to the your respective system here.
Right.
But client export, client copy also will do the same, right? Client copy means entire client data you are moving to the target, but not I don't want entire client data, only small objects which I developed. Then that you need to store into the one of the carry bag that is called the request. Then that carry bag you can move to the here.
Okay, makes sense. So if you're if you're moving data, say you have two tables, right? Like you want to move data from one table to the other table. They both have the same number of rows, for example.
Yeah, that changes will be saved into the across the all the SAP systems. Changes will be saved into the respective tables only. The tables are common in the each and every SAP systems here. So if you move the table data also we will move. Table entries were moving. Only entries you are moving. So just entries you can move to the target system.
Is that going to be only the like? Do you have any control over I guess whether the data should be like overridden versus it should create something new, I guess?
Yeah, we have well when you are importing the request, you have the options, right? So you have the import options. Sir, I don't want to override the data. I want only just import it. That's it. New entries should be added to the table.
Right, right.
I don't want to override. So then in this case, while importing, you have the options, right? So I
Mhm.
don't want to override the originals. So then don't import, don't select that option.
Okay, don't feel go right. Okay, okay, okay. And then one more question. If you're when you're between customizing request versus workbench request, you said customizing request is all between it's only for one client, right? Like data for one client itself that you're moving.
Specific to the only that client specific only the
Right.
client specific data. Why? Because in the data we have the some are the client specific data, some of the cross client data. Cross client means that is applicable for the all the clients. All the clients then use the same. Suppose example, if you create the one logical system, any client you can access it means that is applicable for the all the clients. If you create the one RFC destination, any client that can be accessible. But if you create the one client user that is specific to the one client only, that client only, not for other clients we cannot access. Client
When
specific data.
when you say other, other clients, you're talking about within the same system, though, right?
Yeah, and in the same system or in the in the same different systems also.
Oh, different system too. Okay, wait, that's what I wanted to try to
Yeah, yeah.
clarify. All right, thank you.
Any other questions, anyone? So we have one more, like tomorrow also we'll discuss issues. So that's why issues I have not discussed today. Why? Because RC12 comes, how to fix the issue, how to check the logs, and what can cause the RC12 transports will fail. Then how to react it. That one I will explain it. Why? Because at times all the in one day you guys will confuse. That's why. So you only import you practice today issues and all how to fix it out and way to check the logs and all. Tomorrow I will explain. Okay, so that's it.